In this video, we will discuss categorical variables and the charts that we make along with them. That would be pie charts or bar graphs. In exploratory data analysis, we use graphs and numerical summaries to describe the variables in a data set and the relationships among them. So we begin by examining each variable by itself, then move to study the relationships among the variables. We begin with a graph or graphs, and then we add numerical summaries of specific aspects of the data. The proper choice of graph depends on the nature of the variable. To examine a single variable, we usually want to display its distribution. The distribution of a variable tells us what values it takes and how often it takes these values. The values of a categorical variable are labels for the categories. The distribution of a categorical variable lists the categories, and it will give either the count or the percent of individuals who fall in each category. So let's look at an example. This one is called Which Major? Approximately 1.5 million full-time first-year students enrolled in colleges and universities in 2017. What did they plan to study? Here are the data on the percentages of first-year students who plan to major in several discipline areas. So this is the table. It looks like they got all the common majors: biological science, business, so on. Um, for the other ones that were undeclared or majors that did not fall into the other categories, they just grouped other majors and undeclared together at the bottom, and it came out to 13.1%. So it looks like 6.2% of people majored in math and computer science, 11.7% percent of the students were majoring in health professions, and so on. So your percentages should add up to 100%. If you're close to 100%, it may be due to rounding error. So for example, when you do percents, if you look at these percentages, it looks like they rounded them to the nearest tenth. But sometimes percentages can go out into the thousands. And so perhaps if they had gone out to the thousandth place and then added up all the percentages, they would have gotten closer to 100%, if not 100%. But they rounded to the nearest tenth, and when they added them up, they got 98.7. So we'll consider that close to 100%. Once again, it's probably due to rounding error. So with this data, you can use a bar chart or a pie chart to display the distribution of categorical variables. So pie charts show the distribution of a categorical variable as a pie whose slices are sized by the counts or percentages for the categories. A pie chart must include all the categories that make up a whole. We use a pie chart only when you want to emphasize each category's relationship to the whole. In order to do this, we need the other majors and undeclared category in the above example to complete the whole. Okay? This will allow us to make up the pie chart. So if we didn't include other majors and undeclared here, if we didn't include this, our counts would not be 100%. So this would not be a whole. So let's say if we took this out, let me see what it would be. If we took it out, we will only have 85.6%. A whole is 100%. So we needed to put in the other majors and undeclared in order to make this 100% or close to 100%. So we're going to go ahead and open up a file. This is an Excel file that I put in the classroom for you. And we're going to open this up and we're going to import it into Crunchit. So I already have this file open up, but if you do not, you will have to go to File, and then we're going to import the data from the file that you should have saved on your computer. So if you open up, if you click on that, you'll get this window. You're going to click Browse, and then you want to open it up. So as you can see, I already have it saved on my computer. So you can just click on it, and it'll open up for you. So this is it. So in order to make a pie chart, we're going to go to Graphics, and then we're going to go to Pie with Summarized Data. So they didn't give us raw data. Raw data would be all of the numbers. Instead, they summarized this into percentages. So that's why we have to use summarized data. So we're going to go to summarized data. The labels would be the field of study, and the sizes would be our percent. So labels would be your categories. The sizes will be your percent, or if they give you frequencies rather than percent, you would click on that. So when we hit calculate, we get this pie chart. So as you can see, it's nice and colorful, and it has the percentages listed along with the categories. The only one that's not listed is this education. It probably didn't have enough room to put it on there, but it's 4.46. So if you look over here to the right, you have a ledger along with the percentages as well. So as you can see, this is a pie, and the slices are the categories. And the pie is based off what percentage of the pie is covered by a certain category. Okay. Bar graphs represent each category as a bar. The bar heights show the category counts or percentages. Bars in a bar graph can be ordered alphabetically or by heights. So to make a bar graph, we're going to click on Graphics, and we're going to go to Bar Graph with Summarized Data. Once again, they didn't give us raw data, they gave us summary data. So let's go back into our Crunchit file. So I'm going to delete this out, and I'm going to go to Graphics. I'm going to go to Bar Chart with Summarized Data. My labels will be the categories, field of study, and the heights is percent. I hit calculate, and I'm not a big fan of how Crunchit does their bar graphs, because if you look along the bottom, they can't fit the whole word in this graph. So I just don't like this. So they did say that it would truncate it. So, but like arts and humanities is this bar here. Biological sciences is this tall bar, 15.5, and so on. But like I said, it cuts it off, which I don't like. And I don't even think you can like make it bigger. No, you can't even do that. So I'm not a big fan of this. But anyway, so let me go back. So if you look at, so this is a better graph. This is actually in your book. So you can see the actual categories along the horizontal axis. So this is a better graph. So this bar here has a height of 11.7% because 11.7% of students plan to major in the health professions. If you look along the vertical axis, it has the percentages along here, categories along the horizontal axis. So this is how you read a bar graph. You can also do it in alphabetical order. Unfortunately, Crunchit does not do it. There's no way you can do it in alphabetical order with Crunchit. So you pretty probably got to sketch it out by hand if it asks you to do it alphabetically. So let's go to the next example. Social media preferences for younger audience. By a small margin, Facebook remains the top choice of social media over all ages, with 29% using Facebook most often among those using social media sites. However, more visually oriented social networks such as Snapchat and Instagram continue to draw in younger audiences. When asked which one social networking brand do you use most often? Here are the top brands chosen by Americans aged 12 to 34 who currently use any social networking site or service. Okay. So once again, they give you percentages. Facebook is the highest one with 29%. Then they got Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and um, is it Pinterest? I didn't even know that was considered a social media site. Okay, well, anyway. All right, so we're going to open up chapter 1.2, social media, and we're going to import it into StatCrunch. But first, let's answer some questions. The first question asks, what is the sum of the percentages for these top social media sites? So if we add these up, you should get 90%. Okay? So all I did was I added all these up. So that was 90%. So it must be some other social media accounts or sites that we have not taken into account. So in order to make this a whole, we would have to subtract 90% from 100% to see what's remaining. What are that would go into the other social media sites. I don't know what other I don't know if they consider TikTok. I guess that's social media. Um, I heard there's a new one called Blue Sky. Um, that's fairly new. I heard my friends talk about that. I think it's called Blue Sky. But whatever the case, we need to put in other. Okay, so we know these make up 90%. So the other must be, you're going to take 100% minus 90%. So 10% will make up the other social media sites. Okay, so that's the second question. What percentage of Americans aged 12 to 34 use other social media sites? So we're going to say this is 10%. So the next question says, make a bar graph to display these data and make sure we include other social media category. So if we go ahead and open up, I already have it open, so you will have to open it up. When you open it up, I'm going to delete this. Let's see if I can delete this. Delete it. Okay. So when you open it up, you're not going to have other in here. Okay, it's going to give you the ones that's already stated. So if you want to type in other, you're going to have to insert. So we're going to go here. We're going to insert a row. So mine is already inserted. Let me see. Let me go back. Hold on. Oh, it's the one let me do it. So anyway, I'm going to type in other. We need to double click it. We're going to put in other and I'm going to put 10. I'm not going to put a percent sign after it because we already know that that column represents percentages. So I'm just going to type in 10. Okay. So we're going to make a bar graph. So we're going to go to graphics, bar chart with summary data. Our labels will be social media and the heights will be the percentage. And we're going to hit calculate. And this is our bar graph. Now this one looks pretty decent because none of the words got cut off. And they're not all on top of each other like in the other graph. So I like this graph right here. Okay, so as you can see, Facebook is the tallest one, along with Snapchat, which is 28%. Facebook is 29%. The one with the lowest amount is Pinterest. And that kind of makes sense. When I think of Pinterest, I think of old women sharing recipes. Like they do a lot of household things on there, like do it yourself flower arrangements or something. So I don't think a lot of people between that age range that they gave us would be on Pinterest. I think of people who are 50 and 60 years old. So whatever the case. And as you can see, we also have the other bar in the picture. Okay? So this is the graph that's in your book. And um, you can't control where the categories fall at on the graph. Like here they got Facebook first here, and next they have Snapchat. If you look over here, it has Facebook first, and then next is Instagram. So you have no way of controlling where to place the categories on the graph, as long as they're all there. So the next question says, would it be correct to display these data in a pie chart? Why or why not? So if we did not have the other category, we could not make a pie chart because we would not have a whole. Okay, so if we left off other, we will only have 90% of the data. We want 100%. So the only way to make a pie chart is if you include the other category, and then it'll work. So let's see if we can go ahead and make a pie chart. We're going to go to graphics, pie with summarized data. The labels would be social media and the sizes would be the percent, and let's see how it looks. Okay. So as you can see, it looks like Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram, they take up the majority of the pie. Um, that Pinterest is the blue. It doesn't even have the name on it, nor the percentage, so that's how small it is. But luckily you have the ledger over here to the right, so you can see that that's really 1%. Okay. All right, so that is the end of this lecture.